Imagine a secret world, hidden away at the edge of a quiet meadow. This is our pond. On day one, it is a perfect mirror. The water is so still that it reflects the big blue sky and the fluffy white clouds like a giant glassy eye looking upwards. Sunlight streams down, warming the shallows and making the surface glitter with 1,000 tiny diamonds. Around the edges, tall green reeds stand like silent soldiers, their thin leaves rustling softly in the gentle breeze. A few broad, waxy lily pads float lazily on the surface, their roots anchored deep in the muddy bottom below. It is a picture of perfect calm, a world holding its breath, just waiting for the adventure to begin. Everything seems peaceful, but beneath the surface, a busy world is stirring. The stillness of the water is incredibly important. It allows the sun's rays to penetrate deep into the pond, giving life-giving energy to the plants that grow beneath. Without waves or currents churning up the mud, the water stays clear, which is crucial for the creatures that rely on sight to hunt or to hide. The mud at the bottom, rich and dark, is not just dirt. It is a treasure chest of nutrients and a safe haven for countless tiny organisms. It is a nursery, a pantry, and a fortress all rolled into one. This stillness is the starting signal for 100 days of incredible transformation, a silent promise that something amazing is about to unfold in this small, watery kingdom. Look closer at the edges, where the water meets the land. You might see a water boatman, a tiny insect that rows itself through the water with its oar-like legs, paddling upside down just beneath the surface. Or perhaps a pond skater, a delicate insect that seems to walk on water, its long legs distributing its weight so perfectly that it never breaks the surface tension. These are the first characters in our story, the early explorers of this calm expanse. They are the scouts, moving through a world that is just waking up. For now, they have the place almost to themselves, patrolling their liquid territory under the warm spring sun. Even the plants are poised for action. The lily pads, which look so serene, are actually solar panels, capturing the sun's energy to grow. Underwater, long strands of pondweed reach up toward the light, their feathery leaves creating an intricate submerged forest. This underwater jungle will soon become a vital hiding place for tiny fish and a hunting ground for larger predators. Every single element, from the mud on the bottom to the sunlight on the top, is a piece of the puzzle. On this first day, all the pieces are in place, ready for the great game of life to begin in earnest. The stage is set for a 100-day drama of survival, growth, and discovery. As the first week turns into the second, the calm pond begins to buzz with an explosion of new life. The sun's warmth acts like a magic wand, and suddenly, the water is teeming with activity. The most dramatic change happens beneath the surface. Clumps of what looks like clear jelly, dotted with tiny black specks, appear attached to the stems of underwater plants. This is frog spawn, the beginning of a new generation of frogs. Each black dot is a tiny embryo, a future tadpole, developing safely within its protective jelly coat. The water becomes a nursery, filled with these precious little bundles of life, promising a future chorus of croaks on warm summer evenings. At the same time, the plant life goes into overdrive. The pondweed grows so fast, you can almost see it stretching towards the light each day. This creates a dense green labyrinth that is perfect for tiny creatures to hide in. Algae, the microscopic green plants that are the foundation of pond life, begin to bloom. They turn the water a slightly richer shade of green, like a thin soup filled with goodness. This algal bloom is a floating feast for many of the pond's smallest inhabitants, like the minuscule water fleas. The pond is no longer just clear water, it is becoming a rich, living broth, packed with food and opportunity for all. This sudden abundance of food triggers a population boom among the smallest animals. If you were to scoop up a jar of the pond water now, you would see it is alive with tiny darting specks. These are creatures like Daphnia, also known as water fleas and copepods, tiny crustaceans that jerk and twitch through the water. They are the grazers of this miniature world, munching on the algae and converting that plant energy into protein. They are a vital link in the food chain, becoming a swimming buffet for slightly larger creatures. The pond's engine is truly started, and it is running at full speed. By the end of the third week, the pond is a completely different place. It is a bustling, crowded metropolis of life. The surface is no longer a perfect mirror but a stage for hunting insects. The water below is a thick green soup of life, where millions of tiny dramas are playing out every second. The silence of day one has been replaced by a constant, subtle hum of activity. The air above the water is filled with the buzz of the first flies and midges, which have hatched from their aquatic larval stages. The pond has awakened from its slumber and transformed into a vibrant, thriving ecosystem, all thanks to 100 days of still, sun-warmed water. Among all the insects that call the pond home, one stands out as a true king, the dragonfly. By the 4th or 5th week, the first signs of these incredible predators appear. But they do not start their lives as the dazzling aerial acrobats we know. They begin as nymphs living underwater for months or even years. These dragonfly nymphs are fearsome hunters in their own right. They are drab brown or green, perfectly camouflaged against the muddy bottom and tangled weeds. They move slowly, stalking their prey, which can be anything from a tadpole to a tiny fish. They have a secret weapon, a hinged, extendable jaw that shoots out like a grappling hook to snatch their unsuspecting victims. The great transformation happens on a sunny morning. The nymph, having grown to its full size, feels an instinct it cannot ignore. It crawls slowly out of the water, climbing up the stem of a reed or a bulrush. It clings on tightly as its back begins to split open. This is one of nature's most magical moments. Slowly, painstakingly, the adult dragonfly pulls itself out of its old skin. At first it is soft and vulnerable, its wings crumpled and wet. It must pump fluid into the veins of its wings to expand them, letting them dry and harden in the sun. This is a dangerous time. A hungry bird could easily snatch it. Once its wings are dry, the dragonfly takes its first flight. It is a master of the air from the very first moment. With 2 pairs of wings that can beat independently, it can hover like a helicopter, fly backwards, and change direction in a split second. Its huge compound eyes, made up of thousands of tiny lenses, give it almost 360-degree vision, making it an incredibly effective hunter. It patrols its territory above the pond, its iridescent body flashing like a jewel in the sunlight as it zips through the air, hunting for mosquitoes, midges, and other small flying insects. It is the pond's very own fighter jet. The dragonfly's life connects the world below the water with the world above it. It spends the first and longest part of its life as an aquatic predator, playing a key role in the underwater food web. Then, it emerges to become a top predator of the air, controlling the populations of smaller flying insects around the pond. When it is time to reproduce, the female will dip her abdomen into the still water to lay her eggs, starting the whole amazing cycle over again. The dragonfly is a perfect example of how the pond supports a complex life cycle, linking 2 completely different environments into one incredible story of survival. While the dragonflies rule the air, another incredible transformation is happening in the water below. The frog spawn that appeared in the first few weeks has now hatched. Thousands of tiny black tadpoles wriggle free from their jelly homes and begin their aquatic adventure. At first, they look more like little fish than frogs. They have a long tail for swimming and gills on the side of their head to breathe underwater. They spend their days in large shoals, nibbling on the soft algae and decaying plant matter that coats every surface. They are the pond's cleanup crew, and are themselves a vital food source for dragonfly nymphs and small fish. As the weeks pass, a remarkable change begins. The tadpoles start to grow legs. First, a pair of hind legs sprouts from the base of their tail. For a while they look like strange swimming creatures with both a tail and legs. Then, a pair of front legs emerges, one often popping out before the other. Their bodies become more defined, and their heads become more frog-like. Internally, an even bigger change is happening. Their gills begin to disappear, and a set of lungs develops, preparing them for a life on land. They start swimming to the surface more often, gulping air to practice using their new breathing equipment. The final stage of this metamorphosis is the most dramatic. The tadpole, which is now a tiny froglet, begins to absorb its tail. The tail does not fall off, it is literally absorbed back into the body as a source of energy and nutrition. This is a critical time, as the froglet is switching from a plant-based diet to a carnivorous one. Its mouth changes shape, developing the wide gape and sticky tongue of an adult frog. It is now ready to leave the water. On a damp day, hundreds of these tiny, perfect frogs, some no bigger than a fingernail, will crawl out of the pond and take their first hops on land. These newly emerged frogs will spend the rest of the summer hunting for small insects, spiders, and slugs in the damp grass and vegetation surrounding the pond. But they will never stray far from the water. The pond remains their home base, a place to find moisture, safety, and eventually, a place to return to lay their own spawn. The frog's journey from a tiny speck in a jelly egg to a hopping, croaking hunter is one of the pond's greatest success stories. It shows how this still water environment provides the perfect nursery for a creature that lives its life in two different worlds, the world of water and the world of land. While much of the action happens on the surface or in the shallows, a whole other world exists in the deeper, cooler parts of the pond. This is the realm of the fish. They might not be as obvious as the buzzing dragonflies or the hopping frogs, but they are the hidden giants of this ecosystem. Fish like sticklebacks or minnows dart through the underwater forests of pondweed. The male three-spined stickleback is a particularly fascinating character. During the breeding season, he develops a bright red belly and becomes fiercely territorial. He builds an intricate nest out of pieces of weed, gluing them together with a special secretion from his kidneys. He is a master architect of the underwater world. The stickleback's nest is a small dome-shaped structure hidden among the plants. Once it is built, he performs a special zigzag dance to attract a female. If she is impressed, she will lay her eggs inside his carefully constructed home. After she leaves, the male's job is far from over. He becomes a dedicated father, guarding the nest aggressively against any intruders, including other fish and hungry dragonfly nymphs. He also fans the nest with his fins, pushing fresh, oxygen-rich water over the eggs to ensure they develop properly. This is an amazing example of parental care in the fish world, all happening silently beneath the pond's surface. Other, larger fish might also call the pond home. A patient observer might spot the golden flash of a carp or a tench moving slowly along the bottom. These fish are the pond's bottom feeders. They use sensitive barbels, kind of like whiskers, around their mouths to feel for food in the mud. They sift through the sediment, feeding on worms, insect larvae, and snails, helping to stir up nutrients and keep the pond floor healthy. They are the heavyweights of the pond, growing slowly over many years, and their presence is a sign of a well-established and healthy ecosystem. They are the wise old residents of our watery world. The fish are a crucial part of the pond's food web. The smaller fish, like minnows, feed on tiny crustaceans and insect larvae, while they, in turn, become food for larger fish or visiting predators like kingfishers and herons. Even when a fish dies, it is not wasted. Its body sinks to the bottom and decomposes, releasing vital nutrients back into the water that will feed the algae and plants, starting the cycle of life all over again. The fish are the silent, steady heart of the pond, connecting the depths to the shallows and playing a vital role in the health of the entire system. To truly understand the pond, we need to shrink ourselves down, smaller than a grain of sand, and enter a world that is invisible to the naked eye. If you take a single drop of pond water and place it under a microscope, a whole new universe is revealed. This is the world of microorganisms, the tiny powerhouses that drive the entire pond ecosystem. The most numerous of these are the algae, single-celled plants that float in the water, a group known as phytoplankton. They come in countless beautiful shapes, combined signs, spheres, spirals, and stars. And they are the primary producers, using sunlight to create food through photosynthesis, just like the big plants on land. Floating alongside the algae are the zooplankton, the microscopic animals that graze on them. One of the most common and amazing is the water flea, or Daphnia. It is not an insect, but a tiny crustacean with a transparent body, so you can see its heart beating and its tiny legs kicking to filter food from the water. Daphnia are the cows of the microscopic world, constantly eating algae. They are incredibly important because they convert the energy from these tiny plants into a food source that larger animals like tadpoles and small fish can eat. They are a critical link between the bottom of the food chain and the top. Another star of the microscopic show is the amoeba, a shapeless blob of life that is constantly changing its form. It moves by extending parts of its body into false feet called pseudopods, flowing along the bottom of the pond or over decaying leaves. The amoeba is a predator in this tiny world, engulfing and absorbing even smaller bacteria and algae. It is like a tiny, slow-motion monster, a fundamental part of the cleanup crew that breaks down waste materials. Watching an amoeba move and feed under a microscope is like watching a science fiction movie. Yet it is happening in every drop of pond water. These microscopic marvels are the unsung heroes of the pond. Without the algae producing food from sunlight, there would be nothing for the other creatures to eat. Without the zooplankton and other tiny grazers, the algae would grow out of control. And without the decomposers like bacteria and amoebas, the pond would fill up with dead material. They are the engine room of the pond, silently working to recycle nutrients, create food, and keep the water clean. Every splash, every ripple, is powered by the tireless work of these invisible life forms, proving that even the smallest creatures are absolutely essential. As the 100 days progress, it becomes clear that nothing in the pond lives in isolation. Every single creature, from the largest fish to the smallest bacterium, is connected in a complex and delicate web of life. This is the food web, which describes who eats whom. At the very bottom are the producers, the plants and algae that make their own food from sunlight. Everything else in the pond depends on them. The next level up are the primary consumers, the herbivores, like the tadpoles and water fleas, that eat the plants and algae. They are the crucial link that transfers energy from the plants to the animals. Above them are the secondary consumers, the carnivores that eat the herbivores. A dragonfly nymph eating a tadpole, or a small fish gobbling up water fleas, are examples of this level. Then there are the tertiary consumers, the top predators of the pond, like a large perch eating a smaller fish, or an adult frog snapping up a dragonfly. Each transfer of energy is a link in a long chain, but the web is more complex than a simple chain. A frog might eat a dragonfly, but a large fish might eat the frog, and a bird might eat the fish. Everyone is both a hunter and the hunted. The connections are not just about eating. Plants and animals help each other in many other ways. The dense pondweed provides vital oxygen for the fish and tadpoles to breathe. It also offers a safe hiding place for small creatures to escape from predators. When animals like fish and frogs produce waste, it becomes fertilizer for the plants. Even when a creature dies, its body is not wasted. Decomposers, like bacteria and fungi in the mud, break down the dead body, releasing essential nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus back into the water. These nutrients are then used by the algae and plants to grow, completing the circle of life. This intricate web is what makes the pond ecosystem so resilient and stable. Every organism has a job, a specific role to play. The dragonfly controls the midge population. The tadpoles keep the algae in check. The snails clean the surfaces of rocks and leaves. The fish stir up the bottom sediments. Even the mud at the bottom has a purpose. If you were to remove just one of these elements, the whole system could be thrown off balance. This delicate dance of life, where every partner is important, is what makes the pond a perfect self-sustaining world. It is a powerful lesson in how every living thing matters. The pond is not just an isolated world, it is also a vital resource for creatures that come from far and wide. By day 70 or 80, the pond is a magnet for birds. They are the visiting giants, connecting our small pond to the wider landscape. You might see a flash of electric blue and orange as a kingfisher darts down from a branch. It hits the water with a tiny splash and emerges a second later with a wriggling minnow in its beak. The kingfisher is a master fisherman, and the clear, still water of the pond makes its job of spotting prey from above much easier. Other larger birds are also drawn to the pond's riches. A gray heron might stand motionless in the shallows for what seems like hours. It looks like a statue carved from stone, its long neck poised. It is waiting with incredible patience for the perfect moment. Then, with lightning speed, its neck strikes out like a spear, and it snatches a frog or an unsuspecting fish from the water. The heron is a top predator in this ecosystem, a visitor that can have a big impact on the populations of frogs and fish. Its presence is a sign that the pond is healthy and full of life. Even smaller birds depend on the pond. Swallows and house martins swoop low over the water's surface, their beaks open, scooping up the clouds of midges and other insects that hatch from the pond. They are performing a vital service, helping to control the insect population. In the reeds at the edge, a tiny reed warbler might be busy building its intricate nest, weaving strands of grass and spider silk around the reed stems. It feeds its chicks on the caterpillars and insects it finds in the lush vegetation that thrives in the damp soil around the pond. These birds show that the pond's influence extends far beyond its banks. It is a service station, a restaurant, and a nursery for a wide variety of animals. The birds might take fish or frogs from the pond, but they also bring things to it. They might carry seeds from other plants on their feet or in their droppings, introducing new species to the area. They connect our little pond to other ponds, lakes and rivers miles away. They are the ambassadors of the pond, a reminder that this small body of still water is an important part of a much larger natural world. On the 100th day, our pond is a masterpiece of nature. The water, which started so clear and empty, is now a rich, green, living broth. The surface is dotted with the waxy plates of lily pads, their white and yellow flowers open to the sun. Dragonflies, with their jewel-like bodies, patrol the airspace above, while damselflies rest delicately on the tips of reeds. Below the surface, shoals of small fish dart through the underwater jungle of pondweed, and the muffled croak of a bullfrog echoes from the shallows. The pond is noisy, busy, and bursting with life. It has transformed from a quiet mirror into a bustling city. Looking back, the discoveries have been incredible. We have seen the magic of metamorphosis, as a legless tadpole becomes a four-legged frog, and a crawling nymph becomes a flying dragonfly. We have uncovered the secret lives of fish, with fathers that build nests and guard their eggs with fierce devotion. We have peered into the invisible world of a single water droplet and found a universe of microscopic monsters and grazers. We have learned that every creature, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, has a vital job to do, from the algae making food to the heron hunting at the top of the food chain. For kids and scientists alike, ponds are amazing outdoor laboratories. For a child, a simple jam jar and a net can open up a world of adventure and discovery. Finding your first tadpole or watching a pond skater zip across the water can spark a lifelong love of nature. For a scientist, a pond is a perfect model ecosystem. It is small enough to be studied easily, yet it contains all the complex interactions and cycles of a much larger environment, like a forest or an ocean. Ponds can tell us a lot about the health of our planet, acting as early warning systems for pollution and climate change. That is why we must protect these incredible places. A small pond in a backyard, a park, or a school playground is more than just a puddle. It is a vital habitat, a biodiversity hotspot, and a source of endless wonder. These 100 days of still water have shown us a world of fierce competition, surprising partnerships, and incredible transformations. It teaches us that nature is all about connections, and that even in the most ordinary-looking places, extraordinary things are happening every single second. So next time you see a pond, stop for a moment. Look closely. You never know what hidden world you might discover.